Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more of Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Now, if I'm really lucky, I'm going to get to play for more than about 25 minutes before I get interrupted for once. Oh dear goodness. It breaks up the flow. So yeah, the mouse issue has been resolved. I got a new one. Hopefully no problems there. Let's continue before things get any weirder. So, the door opens through a short, dark hallway, descends into the hill. Something wrong with that sentence. Is this a tomb? Through the open door... the door opens through which a short, dark hallway descends into hell. That would make sense, right? Is this a tomb? You begin to see a glowing light ahead and hear a voice muttering low, angry curses. A little sunshine falls through the doorway. There is still time to turn back. No, I'm going in. There seems to be a nice carpet here around this table. You keep moving forwards. The passage quickly opens out. You enter a small room lit by a single candle on a wooden table. Seated at the table is a spindly creature whose attention is focused on a glass orb set on a plinth. I'm not going to draw my sword. I will watch for a little, though, before I approach. Oh yes, that eye. It is the creature on the cover of the book. And that is one of the serpents. She's spying on the serpents. You watch as the creature stares into their orb, which swirls with colours and shapes. It mumbles something quietly. Well then. You open your mouth to announce yourself, but the silence is broken by a squeaky voice. Yes, all right, don't stammer like a half-orc, I'm busy. Sit down. A thin finger gestures towards a chair in the corner. You know, a commenter suggested I cast a spell at this point, but I have slightly better manners than that in this situation. I shall do as I am bid. And yes, I'm aware that that goes back to hundreds of fairy tales and the phrase she did as she was bid or he did as he was bid, but it seems appropriate in this circumstance. Also, the picture hints at them seeing one of the serpents, and maybe I can get some information out of them about the serpents, but I do not yet know. You sit down as instructed. After a few minutes, the creature leans back from her orb and looks up at you. So, a visitor, a human too. Greetings. I'm not gonna telling her not to harm me is almost like a threat. I'll be cautious on that front. Well, hello there. Greetings to you indeed. As the light from the glass orb fades a little, you see the speaker is a woman, some kind of elf, though she appears somewhat disfigured. I'll gaze upon her visage. Her eyes are too large, and they seem to glow softly of their own accord, accounting for a good portion of the light down here. Suddenly not so squeaky. Don't be alarmed by my appearance, she says softly. My illness is not contagious. What illness would that be? You ask fearfully. Old age. Now, human, as my time is more limited than yours, I will soon lose my patience with you. I am fenestra, like the French word for window. What in Gred's name are you doing in this miserable forest? Well, if she's got a crystal ball, she can see anything she wants to, right? In theory, so there's no point trying to hide anything from her. I seek the crown of kings. Then you are the Analander whom the serpents wish to destroy. She breathes. Well met. I will tell you what I know of them. Gred knows the serpents are no friends of mine. Her voice shakes as she speaks. Then I could prompt her, but no. Let's see what she wants to say first. The water serpent killed my father, she declares coldly. This I shall never forgive. How did he die? This could be useful information for me. His head was bitten off at the neck, she answers. A single tear forms in the corner of her eye. My father did not know the weakness of the water serpent, so he could not survive its attack. But you have learned it, I take it. And I also know what it is, so I'm sorry for your loss, my lady. I've learned oil can be the weakness of the water serpent. She nods. Oil. It is so stupid. Had my father been a cook, he would most likely have survived. Her eyes flick back down to her orb. And is that all? She asks. What are the... I'm looking for limited time. We know who a water serpent is. What are the weaknesses of the other serpents? You ask. Here is what I know, she replies. The serpent of sun cannot tolerate water. And one more thing. Fenestra glances at the orb on her table, then back at you. She appears to be deciding whether or not to trust you. Finally, she says, the serpents can also be defeated through sheer strength, except for the serpent of time. I hope this will prove of use to you. The orb on her table swirls with colour ever more violently. Fenestra sits up sharply. You must go, she declares. I have work that must be attended to. I think I'm only going to get one of these. I could ask of counterspells, what do you see in your orb? I don't think she wants to tell me. I should have probably... Okay, no, that is useful. Although it will depend on where the sun serpent is. What do you see in your orb? When last she was gazing into it, I spied her looking at the water serpent. What can you tell me of counterspells? I have theorized that these will be very useful and important in the late game. Fenestra smiles. Almost casually, she tosses a handful of sand at your feet. She regards you for a moment. Wait a minute. I know what's going on here. It's the quicksand spell, isn't it? Mud. What would rock? Wait, no, rock is... Okay, let's see what I can cast. Zen? Makes total sense. Hoff? No. Unless I can place a force field beneath me. Oh, Foff. That's not an H. H. I clicked the H. Hot. Fireball counters dock, so it's probably not going to... I think the counters are paired. I don't think they're going to be... Gak. No. So... float in the air, counters rock. So I think it's going to be Zen. Rock, turn to stone. I don't have stone dust. Okay, so yeah, let's go Zen. You cast the spell. Pulling out the medallion, you're not fast enough. Fenestra is casting an enchantment on you. The sand at your boots begin to swirl in a narrow circle, growing faster and faster. You feel a terrible force sucking you downwards into the ground. Fenestra cackles suddenly with glee. Grab onto the table. I'll plead for mercy. Apparently I was not swift enough. Please, you beg as your heels disappear into the ground and you feel the sticky mud closing around your shins. Have mercy! Fenestra laughs. You're up to your thighs now and sinking faster and faster. Fenestra peers at you contemptuously. Are you even going to try and protect yourself? Absolutely, I'm going to cast a spell. Maybe this time I'll be allowed to cast Zen. Different big. You gave me a B, but you're not allowing me to follow it up at all. Interesting. I don't have my sun jewel. Sus. Probably a bit late for that right now. N. I'm being offered a lot of letters that... Okay, let's try and go G. Fog. No, that's not going to help much, is it? Foff. Again, that might prevent me sinking deeper, but I need to have something that will counter the... Okay. I want my sun jewel back. I really, truly do. Okay. S. No, not an N. An S. Yeah, sus. Really, that doesn't seem right at all. I mean, I suppose once you know quicksand is there, you can walk around it. But look, we're on the front. There's a B. Why are there no more letters? How bizarre. Nothing. I think these are for spells I have not learned yet. Partial spells. In which case, I do not... So, no B's, no N's. I just got sus. Or foff. Because I don't have my... Wait, does she have a sun jewel? You try to bind the enchantment, but you're missing an item that it needs, and so the spell dissipates around you. Mud reaches your head and fills it, and the floor closes over your head. We is deaded. At the last minute, the witch undoes the spell, grabbing you by the hair, hauls you out before the floor turns back into rock once more. Oh, Foff, really? Okay. I thought you were a sorcerer, she exclaims. Know then that the enchantment of the whirlpool matches the spell of the force field. Now begone. I have no more minutes of my life to waste on you. Very well. You do not wait for another instruction, but turn and hurry from the chamber. One new clue, another has been updated. So, I don't believe... A little light comes in through the open door, and I go out through it. You're back in the sunshine of the clearing. You have the sense that things are watching you from the trees. Time to move on. Indeed it is. A A wide track leads away from the door into the trees. Wasn't she supposed to tell me that the ring relates to the serpents? Or something. And now this hut probably is not hers. You walk on between the trees. The sun has almost set and the sky has turned a deep purple. The path passes by a heavy thicket of tangled branches. I will take a look. The dense bushes curl up around themselves in a triangle. Your memories of the strangle bush leave you weary. Peering between the branches, you can make out something covered over. I have an axe that's strong and keen. I'll have... Was it a lever, a chisel, an axe, or a pail? Right. Sun serpent is vulnerable to water. And what has been updated? The water serpent weakness, possibly. Also, I mean, the force field didn't quite make sense, which is why I didn't want to do it. Counters for fair enough. We have the information that we seek. Although it would be very nice to get my sun gem back. I have an axe. You hew the branches away with the axe in swift, easy strokes. The foliage falls away to reveal first a glassless window, and then the top corner of a door. It seems the branches are growing in front of and out of an ancient hut. Something tells me I'm not going to climb in through a window, because if the place is full of branches I could get all scratched up without knowing it. Something tells me that this hut will be considerably less overgrown if I shine a beacon's light upon it. I'll try and cut the door free. You keep cutting until you have uncovered the door enough that you might be able to pull it open. I shall endeavour to... I'll look through the window. Before going inside, you think to peer in through the window. You can make little out through the thick foliage that continues inside, but it seems the hut is otherwise empty. Then, for a moment, something seems to move, but looking again, you see nothing. I will open the door, but I will be expecting danger. Forearmed is forewarned. Forewarned is forearmed, allegedly. You heave on the door, hauling it open. Ancient dust spills out into the forest air, and a million crawling things scuttle from holes in the ancient wood. Let's smell that air. The air from inside the hut is old and stale, but does not stink of death, decay, or animal. You look about for where to go. I would like to investigate the contents of this hut. You push your way inside the ancient overgrown hut. There are patches of yellow moss growing on the back wall of the hut, which I could probably eat. Will I get hurt trying to get them? I should probably look around. Wait. Spells. I think I don't have a good spell for this. I think there is a partial spell, which is like CA something. Doc? I have no medicinal potion. Although an interesting place to cast it. Sap. Why would I want to be depressed? Unless the plants are alive. Sun. I have no sun jewels. Suss out trouble. Really interesting choice. Let's do it. You sit cross-legged by the roots of a tree and put your palms on the orb of crystal. Looking to the stars, you craft the magic and everything changes. Your vision is suddenly overtaken by a strange sight. You are lying down to rest by a deep fissure in the earth. The water of a lake glitters in the near distance. Suddenly the ground begins to rumble. I'll look around. You look about to see the rocks either side sliding into the fissure. At first it seems as though the ground is sinking, but then you realize something is rising up through the earth. Something with a forked tongue. The vision fades. Another night begins. You need rest. I'll look around just to be sure I'm safe-ish. You look around the corners of the hut, but it is too dark to make anything out apart from the rough outline of curling branches that grow along the walls and up towards the windows. Can't I eat that yellow moss now? I think I will try sleeping here. This is a good, safe place to sleep. At least you have eaten well already. You close your eyes and let your tiredness overtake you. You are unharmed here, but you do not dream. Interesting. We found one new clue. Not ideal, but there we go. You're woken in the morning by sunshine sneaking through the tangled branches outside the hut, but you are not alone. "Hello," whispers the girl crouching beside you. She's holding out a bowl. "I thought you would like something to eat." I'll sit up. I don't want to be too startled. I should probably wonder how she got in here, as this place normally isn't open. You sit up slowly. The girl smiles nervously. "You've been asleep for some time." How long have you been here?" "I've always been here," she replies. "I was asleep. This is my home." She puts her bowl down on the floor beside you. It contains some kind of grey gruel. "What is it?" you ask. "It's munchflax and snattercat's milk, with a few berries for flavour," she shrugs. "It's pretty disgusting, but it's food." "You milked a snattercat?" She shrugs. "When they're asleep, they're really asleep." "But I thought they were invisible." And she's going to say they are. She smiles at you curiously. "Of course they're not," she replies, puzzled. "Wait." Either she can see them all the time, or they sleep with their eyes open, or something else. I will risk eating the food, but only because I'm on full health. You take a cautious mouthful of your fingers. It is thick, sour, and foul. I'll force myself to eat some. But it is food all the same. After a few more mouthfuls, you begin to grow accustomed to the taste. "I don't like it either," the girl admits, watching your face. A moment later, she has vanished. "Where are you?" Just in case she is actually still here. You call. "Right here," comes the reply, as though from your elbow, though no, there is no one in here. Okay, now I'm going to search carefully so I don't get scratched up by the plants. You get up, thinking to search the corners of the room, though there is nothing there that could provide anywhere to hide. Then suddenly the girl is in front of you again, a little wide-eyed. "What's the matter?" she asks. "Are you a sorceress?" She shakes her head. "I'm not." She runs her finger round the inside of the bowl, scooping up what's left. "Then, how did you vanish?" The girl shrugs. "I don't know what you're talking about. The light was behind me, that's all." For a moment she vanishes again, then reappears. "Where are you from?" you ask. "You weren't born in the forest, surely?" She shakes her head. "I was born in Mampang. There used to be a bridge, but it's gone now. I suppose whoever destroyed my city destroyed it too." Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. That seems much more like a statement than a question. Is there no other way across? you ask. She shakes her head. So, if she's phasing in and out between different... Maybe she's phasing in and out between different times. This could be Tin Pang over here. It's right by the Tin Pang River. That would make sense. If the beacons have messed up this town... Right. Possibly even all the people from Tin Pang have gone to Kariyama in the past, but hey, who knows? Now that doesn't quite make sense. Is there no other way across, you ask? She shakes her head. Not that I've ever found. I've climbed down the bridge to get here, but it's too high to climb back. Not that there's anything to go back to there. The girl steps away from the door and then once again disappears from view. This time she reappears much faster. It is clear from her manner that she does not notice this happening. You keep turning invisible, you tell her. She laughs. I might have blinked. Picking up the bowl, she drains the last few dregs of Snattercat milk from it. I'll take her to Fenestra. Yeah, come with me. Look, let's go. I know someone who could help you, you tell the girl. A sorceress who lives close by. She could look after you, I'm sure. I don't need looking after. I'm not a child, the child replies sharply, but then her tone softens. Still, I wouldn't mind some company. Is she safe, this sorceress? Mostly. She's also mostly harmless. There's a reference for you all there. I think you know what it is. Oh, that's safe enough, she replies, glancing around her little hut. She points to the doorway. Lead the way. You head for the door. That sounds as if something happens to prevent me leaving through it. No, we go outside. That's great. And the girl turns into a snattercat and eats me. You step outside, thorn branches catching in your cloak. Then you turn to help the girl through, but she has vanished again. I'll wait a moment. You wait for her to reappear. She does not. I'll call for her. You call for her, but she does not reappear. Then a moment later she's at your side once more, breathless with excitement over something. You really can't see me, she exclaims breathlessly. I closed my eyes and crept up on you, and you couldn't see me. You thought I'd disappeared. Oh, perhaps it's the Snattercat milk. Maybe that's what's making you blink in and out like that. She frowns. Snattercat milk? It can't be that. I've always drunk it. I think my point is proven. Then she glances away into the trees. So which way are we going? We leave the hut behind. Let's go back to the house under the hill. You trace what might be a path and might be an old river through the trees of the forest. A few clouds turn in the sky. If we're going to travel together, you should know my name. I'm Alizi. Well, Alizi, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, greetings, she replies with a sombre nod that mocks yours, but I don't know your name. I'll tell her my name. Not that we've had a name so far in our adventure. If she was an adult, I'd be more reluctant to tell her my name, but I'll tell her. You tell her. She shrugs. What a strange name, she replies before taking your hand to walk with you. Paths lead in both directions through the trees. This is a dangerous place, the girl says. The witch who lives here is a serpent in disguise. Oh, really? I don't believe she is. Is that so? She nods. I've heard her voice. She's evil. This feels like it's not part of the original adventure because of the backtracking. Something is off here. But I'll take her inside. We'll see if she puts up a struggle and is afraid to go in. You go over and open the door. Don't! Hisses Alizi. She'll come for us. So you've met this witch before, then? You ask. Never, she says, shaking her head. I'm very good at hiding. I don't think she knows I exist, but I've stolen plenty from her. You've stolen from her. That's not good. Could you steal something for me? What would I want her to steal? I only know about the crystal ball and I've already got one. The girl looks at you in surprise, in a sharp surprise. Like what? A crystal... I have one already. Any of her magical equipment. It's magical. She might notice. It might react when a strange person picks it up. Not going to end well. Food and supplies. I kind of don't want to ask her to steal anything now. Food and supplies. We'll need more if you're with me. Alizé considers for a moment, then laughs. All right, I've done it before. Wait out of sight. With that, she closes her eyes and vanishes from sight. You see the door to the hillock shift open just a crack, and then all is quiet. You are suddenly, momentarily overwhelmed by Kagha's disapproval of your actions. Yeah, look, I didn't realize... You know what? I honestly misread it. I misread it as, could you steal something from me? Not for me. So, you met this witch before. Look, I'll protect you, alright? She won't hurt you while you're with me. I don't know quite how I'll do that, but okay. I'll protect you, you tell her, stepping a short way into the darkness, but the girl is not convinced. You say you can't see me when I close my eyes, she says. Is that right? Yes. You reply, but you see Alizé lower her eyelids, and then she disappears smoothly and completely from view. The forest path is quite silent. Open your eyes, child. You insist. We should not waste time. Nothing happens. A few leaves shiver in the breeze. I'm not necessarily sure she's running away from me. If she thinks I'm leading her into a trap... Yeah, this is good. This is the kind of struggle I was expecting. Look, girl, don't play games now. You call, but even as you speak, you sense you are alone. There is no sound, no sense of presence. The girl has simply disappeared somewhere between the trees. You fall quiet for a moment, but hear nothing. It seems she is gone. There is a movement from inside the hill, and the elf witch appears. You. What do you want? Well, I had brought someone to meet you. She leans outside the door and looks this way and that. Went wrong, did it? Well, she did not trust you. She's still here, I think. Just being very quiet and very still. You say, though you have a gathering suspicion she is not. The elf shakes her head. I have no time for traps. She moves to close the door. Well, then we just walk away. You let Fenestra close the door and step away from the hill. This is an open place, not somewhere to wait. Better head back this way then. The path leads away into the forest, and away it does go. That felt a bit like some of the stuff that had happened in Khare. Things scurry in the branches all around you. As the sun climbs towards its zenith, the winds pick up. You are close to the empty hut once more. Where now? Look, I don't think she'll be in there, but there was that yellow moss on the wall, right? You push your way inside the ancient overgrown hut. There are more patches of yellow moss growing on the back wall of the hut. There is no sign of the girl you met earlier. I will pull up a handful of the moss. I'll chew on the moss I have gathered. You munch on the moss, feeling much better for it. Look around. Hey, maybe she is a ghost after all. In the thin sunlight through the windows of the hut, you can make out writing on the far wall. This is the house Alizi built, and in its doorway blood was spilt, but that blood has dried and gone, and poor Alizi is still alone. Is there a spell I can cast? Dock would be lovely, but I have no medicinal potion. I've already done this here, and I don't think it's going to help me again. I want my sun gem back. Damn it. Why would sap come in useful here? It almost feels like a mistake. Alright, I think no spell. I'll look at the doorway for the blood. Looking at the doorway, you see the dark shadow of a bloodstain wiped carefully around the sill, like a ward against an evil spirit. Not that such magic works, of course. The only true magic comes from the stars. At least that's what they told you. There are a few more things scratched into the wood. I will look at those. You look at the other scratch marks. They are hard to comprehend precisely. One appears to depict a person in a circular bubble floating harmlessly through a raging tornado or a whirlpool. That could be a counterspell. Another shows a fiery ball, perhaps the sun, perhaps not, being drenched by a fist squeezing what looks like a handful of berries. Dark and hot. Wait. So Alizi is a sorceress. Let me just... Pretty sure Dock and hot are counters. Dock counters hot. Yes. So. Bubble. Raging tornado or a whirlpool. I would imagine that would be Foth and mud. So those are clues. I'll search the corners of the hut. Looking into the dim corners of the hut, you uncover an odd vial of water. As you lift it to the light, it gives off a very faint shine. In your mind, you feel your graceful god's gentle voice. The water in this vial is blessed to the god Gred. And Fenestra, who worships Gred, has told me that the sun serpent is afraid of water. I will absolutely take this. You place the vial of holy water in your pack. A lucky find. So, what I want to know is if this is marked specially, or if it's just like 2 vials of holy water, 2 measures of holy water. So, it's not one particularly dedicated to Gred and one not, which I'll just have to imagine, you know. Well, I will leave the hut. You slip through the branches until you're outside the hut once more. And Alizi is long gone, apparently. There is nothing more to be done here. You leave the hut behind. I really need to find some food. The path winds tortuously through the forest. Mid-afternoon haze makes the air uncomfortably warm. A large ancient tree has fallen across the path here. I'll climb up onto the tree and have a look. Plop. Uh-oh. You clamber up onto the trunk and look off into the distance of the trees. To the east, the mountains rise tall and cold. A gleaming to the south suggests a pool of water. A soft plop echoes from within the tree trunk. I'll definitely try and check that. If it's hollow and it's like something dropping so that I slip and my foot falls in through the side as the rotting wood gives way. You leave your pack on the tree trunk and move carefully along its length, eyes peeled for what was making that noise. Suddenly, of its own accord, your pack topples from the trunk and onto the ground. Uh-oh. I draw my sword. You draw your Analand sword, but suddenly there is blood running down your arm. Long gashes like claws have appeared, and you almost drop your blade. Slash, spin with sword outstretched, sure. Snattercat, I think. You spin with the sword outstretched, hoping to catch whatever attacked you, but the sword merely whistles through the empty air, and then something charges your stomach, knocking you flat to the ground. Stay down. You scramble back, but there is still nothing to be seen. I will strike out hard. You slash down into the grass and hit something. Blood seems to spring onto the blade, and there is a terrible animal screech. I will slash again. You slash down again, and the blow makes the creature scream. For just a moment, it materializes in front of you. A furry beast about the size of a large dog with a snub snout. That's got to be snout. Snout isn't even a word in the English language that I'm aware of. And razor-sharp teeth. It is watching you intently. I'm not going to charge, I'm going to threaten it. Stay back! You shout, but oh, come on! That's not the kind of... I meant like a bodily threaten, you know. But the creature clearly does not understand your language. It growls and yaps in return. Right, you've asked for it, pal. You rush forwards. The creature closes its eyes, abruptly vanishing from your sight. Then, presumably, it steps sideways, avoiding your blow and slashing painfully at your leg, unless there's another one. I don't want to run away. My pack's here. Use the moment to collect your pack and slip away through the trees. The creature allows you to leave. Well, yes, it's wounded. I don't want to go here. I want to go here. I would like to go down there. You walk on between the trees. Slowly, the sun begins to lower in the sky. The forest path curves past the shore of a deep, flat pool. I will absolutely rummage around for anything edible. You take a moment to forage through the nearby bushes for edible-looking plants. You find a couple of mushrooms and a handful of nuts. Look, the mushrooms might be poisonous, the nuts are almost guaranteed to be safe. I'll take the nuts. You put the nuts in your pack. They should serve for a meal. I'll try a mushroom as well. You tear off one corner of a mushroom and put it onto your tongue. It tastes well enough. And if dead and villain is anything to go by, the next step is to rub it on my skin. I'll eat a little more. You stuff the rest of the mushroom into your mouth. A moment later you find the corners of your vision are popping and discolouring. It must be tiredness. No, it's not. I'll drink some water, which might react with the mushroom and make something even worse, but hey. You go to drink some water and collapse face down in the pool. You feel unable to push yourself upright. Strange things happen as you begin to drown. Sparkling lights, flashing shadows, loud noises. Yeah, we'll go with sparkling lights. A fat worm made of firecrackers seems to be crawling out of one of your eyes and crossing the bridge of your nose into your other eye. It leaves a slime trail of pink fire in its wake, but that is not all. Flashing shadows. Strange shadow creatures, bats perhaps, have removed the top of your head. One by one, they take out your memories, polish them, and organise them into a better pattern within your skull. You remember your mother, but she appears to have been a goldfish. bangs and crashes. Explosions are going off close by your ears, making you jump from side to side. The explosions match the rhythm of your heartbeat almost, but not quite precisely. The dreams coalesce. Colours and images swirl around and into you. A wide lake across which a boatman moves with silent oar strokes. I will watch him. This could be Fenestra's father. You watch his movements and cannot help but feel there is something wrong with them. They are too fluid, too smooth, as though his whole body is a sapling moving in the breeze. I'll watch in silence. You watch in silence. There is a sudden movement in the lake as a fish leaps from the surface of the water. The boatman flicks out a long, forked, inhuman tongue, snatches the fish and swallows it whole. The vision fades. Clouds begin to tumble across the sky. It'll be night soon and my head hurts. You stagger to your feet, head beating and stomach feeling wretched, and find you have thrown up while you were unconscious. Lucky that no animal has been attracted by the smell. You quickly bathe your face and hands in the pool and get ready to move on. I'll look out across the water. The water extends away to the southeast, towards the dark shadows of the next range of mountains. It's not quite a lake, but large for a pool, and who knows how deep it is. On the far side you see another stone tower. I will cast a spell. Obviously I want to float in the air. Zen, yeah. Can I have foul as well? This is actually a really good idea. Let's do this. I don't get to do this often. You sit cross-legged by the roots of a tree and put your palms on the orb of crystal. You spin the starlight into a pattern around you and everything changes. You're overcome by a vision of your future. An endless mountain path curling up between high cliffs. The cawing of eagles echoes overhead. The eagles have been on my side so far, from representing Analand. The vision fades. Night falls. You should find somewhere safe to sleep. I will cast a spell. And I think it's going to be a very zen experience. W? Walk? Really? Am I expecting a fight? I'll just go zen. And float across the water. You weave the enchantment and the medallion begins to glow as you rise gently up into the air. I look into the water. You peer down into the black water. It reflects the stars above and the sickle-like moon in your own haggard face. I make a move. You continue to float through the dark, towards the tower. You float without incident across the surface of the pool. Your weight returns and you settle gradually back down onto the ground. Nestled in a curve of the eastern cliffs is a stone tower. It is heavily overgrown with thorny branches and its base is almost obscured by shrubs and tangled weeds. I will look up at the tower. I should still be floating, right? You look up at the tower, but can make out little of the dark, but for the silhouette against the dark sky. This might be a good place to shelter, however, if you can find a way inside. I have an axe. You heft your hewing axe and cleave quickly through the branches that surround the base of the tower. The axe's keen edge makes short work of the thorns, and you have soon cut a path to the tower's door, which I shall attempt to open. Something seems to rustle and move just inside the tower door. Well, kind of committed now. You step up to the door and step into the shadows inside to be met by a soft, damp smell. I wish I had my sun gem. Probably not going to get another chance now. You step into the dark interior of the tower. Shadows loom from all sides, and though you can see nothing, there is a sense that something dominates the space. I'll wait for my eyes to adjust. It should take about 6 seconds. You hold back, waiting for your eyes to adjust. Slowly, details filter in. You're standing at the base of a gigantic tree. By the girth, it must be at least 500 years old. A wooden staircase winds around the trunk and disappears into the canopy. I will sleep here. This is a dry, sheltered, secure place to rest. You set yourself down against the bark of the ancient tree. I've eaten already. I'm saving rations for tomorrow. And I'll close my eyes. You lie back and try to forget your troubles. You seem left alone here, and your night is untroubled by dreams. We gained 1 provision and found 2 new clues. You pick yourself to your feet, feeling much better for resting in such a quiet, secluded spot. The tree is wider than your outstretched arms and has thick branches and leaves despite the dark. Somewhere up above you spy a metallic glint. It's time to explore. It is indeed. You climb the spiraling wooden stairs, picking your way through and over branches. Someone has carved something into the bark of the tree here. I will read it. S! S, S, S. Super Snake Secrets, yes. I think Fenestra was supposed to tell me about this. She was supposed to tell me that I can use the serpent ring to do something with the serpents. You regard the carving with some interest. It is a triangle formed of 3 stars. A spell! Using your spellbook as a reference, you match the stars in the carving to those you know until you have the spell memorized. This is the SSS spell. As you realize it, you feel the serpent ring on your finger glow slightly with reflected starlight. Maybe it's the required spell component. The SSS spell has been recorded in your spellbook. The staircase passes through a split in the trunk before it reaches the top. Well, I have a new spell, and it's not the Z spell. But I think the Z spell should still be last. I don't like the idea of the SSS spell appearing at the back after the Z spell, as Z is like the ultimate. Yes, good. Right, where are you? Do I have a description for the spell? Because the text did not give me much of one. It clearly has a page of its own now. Requires a serpent ring. Why is that red? I have the serpent ring. This spell enables the caster to force information from serpents. I need to find the sun serpent. I need to find the earth serpent. The fact that Fenestra... items I do not have are red. Items I have are not red. The only reason I can see for this being red is so that it would be visible on that dark background. I'm pretty sure I have a serpent ring. But it's ring of green metal. It's not listed as a magical item. Interesting. It's not here either. It's not under treasure, is it? Serpent ring, yes. Maybe I should take this back to Fenestra and ask her about it. Because apparently I can't work out that it blatantly is what it is. Oh, I might not be able to rotate this one. You emerge onto a stone walkway built in a ring that allows the tree to grow through. Resting in its branches is a brass contraption, much like those you've already seen, its gears and bearing carefully enmeshed between the limbs of the tree. In which case, you push aside the branches to reach the blue crystal at the base of the beacon, and the beam of light blossoms into life. Okay, I can. So. Oh, that can go a really long way over there. I don't need it. Down, down. Vishlami Swamp. I should probably... Look, we can fix the bridge. And we can... Hang on, can we get it... I want to go like that, right? I want to get rid of the hut, but keep the witch's house. The cylinder moves easily, and though the focus is initially sticky, after a few twists and turns you get its light to shine brightly across the landscape. Things shift and morph as the light moves. Once again, you feel a great rush of wellness from using the beacon. Why am I being healed by doing this? Well, obviously, I touch the blue crystal. You touch the blue crystal and you appear to lift into the air. And there will be a place I want to be over here. Gonna regret this. Oh, but I can go through the... I probably can't go through the tunnel, actually. So, I'll adjust the beam, and obviously, I can get Khare armor and the bridge into the beam, and the tunnel. There we go. The bridge has been restored. And now, I will... No, that's not the kind of move I wanted. Right, I'm good here, thanks. Okay, I'll go back down. I should have just used the beacon to go back. The inside of the tower is cavernous and empty, but for a stone staircase that spirals around the walls. The hatch at the top of the stairs is open. Now it is time to move on. You could go back out to the plain or up to the top of the tower once more. Here's a thought. If I go back to Khare armor, do I think I can get food again? Also, I really want to go to the witch's hut. This is the closest, but there's a massive swamp. Am I better going through Khare armor? You know what? I think that's something I can consider in the next episode. Yeah. Yeah. And I can adjust that beacon to reach the middle of a bridge if I really want to. Because... Ooh. A little bit... Ah! This is what one of the viewers was saying about how the shadows... They're basically like clouds of time move and shift. Intriguing. I'm now wondering what point in the adventure I would need to stand still for up to 3/4 of an hour to wait to get the time to get the right thing that I need. What am I missing? And what's this? This is the well next to the temple. I can see the old temple here. The well is still there in the past. Intriguing. And it would appear the hut is not here in the past. Basically, I want to get to here. I don't want to have to deal with the tollkeeper at the bridge who takes all your stuff. It reminds me of one of the Golden Dragon game books, in fact. The troll bridge sign. Toll, or your gold, or your life. Written really badly. So, where am I going to find the Sun Serpent and the Earth Serpent? I would like to imagine the Earth Serpent. I mean, a forest is a very earthy thing. This feels like a very reasonable place to encounter the Earth Serpent, but I'm more likely... Thing is, even if I come down here, this beam here is making swamps, so I'm gonna have to go through the swamp at some point. Can I climb down the bridge? I don't know. I think I need to take a little break and think about it. Yeah, that's what I should do. Right, well, I'm going to leave this one here then. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, definitely longer than the last one, and I will look forward to seeing you all in the very next one, which hopefully won't be too long from now. I'm going to say goodbye for now, though, and cheerio, everyone. See you all soon.